Hey, welcome back, friends. We are here for another episode of Things on a String. Do you remember me? I painted a lot of things on strings. If you look back, you can find the videos. I can't even recall. We did a teddy bear, we did a asparagus and a banana. Can't even think what else. Anyway, this is what we're doing. I planted some nasturtium seeds this year, which I haven't had in forever, and I planted them because for this very reason. I also tried to plant cosmos, which I got none. I planted 4 or 5 packets. So this is a little, I think it's 5x7, and my goal is to duplicate what we see approximately there. Now, I've adjusted up and down. I do want to, get some of the string in there. So we'll see how it goes. And I didn't want to be looking dead onto the flower, so as you can see, this is more the view I'll have. Interesting light coming through it, isn't it? And I may do that yellow background, I don't really know at this point. So let's play around and get you in a halfway decent position to where maybe you can see. That doesn't seem to be too bad. I'm standing tonight. And hopefully no storms will blow in while we're doing this. The weather has been crazy lately, hasn't it? Things are a lot different than they used to be, I think. My poor grandson went on must have been a 4-day hiking trip. He was an Eagle Scout, is an Eagle Scout, I guess you always are. Him and I think it was 3 or 4 other young men that were Eagle Scouts also, and they were going to hike 2 days, come out, go to another location. Anyway, today is what, Wednesday? They left, I think Monday was their first day. They hiked all day in torrential rain. He said he has waterproof boots, but his feet were wet. I mean, it was miserable. Then they set up to camp that night. He said the winds were just unbelievable. We had a tarp, but it wasn't big enough. And then he woke up. He sleeps in a hammock. He woke up when he landed on the ground. His hammock gave way. So he's up in the dark trying to locate things. His tarp is gone. Kind of got it strung back up, and of course, he didn't sleep anymore. And let's see, that was day 1. Next day, it was just miserable. They sloppy wet. I guess he fell like 3 times. He's got some injuries, a leg, a foot. They ran across a rattlesnake at one point on the trail. Thank God they saw it and they avoided that. And then they hit a trail that was, I guess, mostly grown over. And he said they had to bushwhack for a long way. And they all had shorts on because it is August. And their legs are a mess. And he said that, and actually day 1, it was only got up to about 70 with pouring rain. And it got into the 40s that night. So it was just the trip from hell. I feel so bad for him. They had this planned. All right, let's look at this. I'm not looking through a viewfinder, and I probably should be. I always do. Let me grab it. It's always a good idea when you're painting from life. I always recommend it. And I've been using a different one, but we're going to use this one tonight. And with this one, I can adjust it to what looks to be approximately a 5x7, and we'll look through that. We'll see how that works. Again, I want you to see some of the string. And I think that glow is kind of interesting too. So the bottle is going to come pretty low. And the flower actually fairly high. I think I told you I went to Savannah a few weeks ago with my daughter, mother-daughter trip, and we visited the house. I don't know if you read the book, Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil. I had never read it, but we visited the house where the murder happened, and so I thought I should read the book, right? So I just read the book, and then I found the movie on demand, I guess it is, and I bought the movie last night. So I am all caught up. The book was supposed to have been a great book, and it was okay. I mean, I know why they made it into a movie. There were some very interesting characters. I have to say, I don't read a lot of books, and it never got me to the point that, I couldn't have laid it down and walked away from it. That's just me. To me, a good book really catches you like a movie, and but I read it, I got through it, and I watched the movie. The movie had Kevin Spacey in it, directed by Clint Eastwood, and did a pretty good job on it. In reality, the true story is he was tried 4 times for the murder of a young man. In the movie, they only tried him once. I don't know, but pretty good. I did not have any orange paper, of course, I don't intend for my finished painting to be orange. I put yellow under there because it was similar, but I probably should have given more thought to the color that I wanted the finished background to be. That's why I'm thinking I might try yellow. I've got yellow up here. I've got a pack of colored papers that I bought after that workshop with Sarah Sedgwick, because she places colored paper under her still lifes, and I thought that was a good idea. But they're all kind of pastel-y colors, green, blue, so we'll see. I mean, we don't like it, we'll change it. Just sketching with ultramarine blue and transparent red oxide. And I got the bottle kind of hanging at an angle here. So let's check that angle. I went out yesterday and painted, and instead of my usual look, I'm usually looking for a house to paint, I went to a flower shop here in town, which that might be a good place to actually take you along, but she has all these things set up behind her gallery studio where she shoots photos, and one of the things is an old truck and a Coke machine, and some facades and stuff. So anyway, I say tried because vehicles I think they're difficult. I've done some more successfully than others, and I did the old truck yesterday and the Coke machine. It's fair. I'm not thrilled with it. I may work on it some more. I think I pulled the nose of the truck a little around toward me. Good challenge, though. It might have been better just to gone up and sketch, and tried that. I think cars and trucks are challenging. Of course, it depends on how important you want them to be. If they're just a small part of the scene that you're doing, then they're just little dabs of color and value, and Still painting houses in town. Let's see how the bottom of that plane lays. It goes uphill. Of course it does, just a little bit. This little bottle hangs in my kitchen window. I picked it up one time. It's just really cute, bring in one little single flower and stick it in there. I think it's sweet hanging up there. Just looking at my shadows. Got a nice shadow here of the string. I'll tell you what's fun about painting these houses around town. Like a lady commissioned me to do this. It's about 100 years old. It is the cutest house. It's purple. And when I went by yesterday to show her the painting to see if she was happy with where it was, and I got a tour of the house, which so fun. And the wonderful thing about the house is nobody ever tore up the important things. Like all the woodwork is still original. It's a little tiny kind of mission style house, about 1,000 square feet. And when you go in, there's of course the fireplace, a built-in bookcase on one side, a built-in bench on the other. There's those half walls with the post that goes into the dining room, and on the other side of them is beautiful glass doors that open up for storage. There's moldings, there's beams. I mean, it's a gem. Kitchen, there is some original cabinetry. You know, they've added more. It's tiny, but she's got one of those big, beautiful, it's like kind of like a pantry. It's a big cupboard in the kitchen that's original. Bedroom, took me in the bedroom, and it's got a built-in, she didn't open it, but a little closet that she said goes way back in the wall. And in her closets, there's windows. And I don't know if they did that because, well, there was electricity then. But anyway, she's got little windows in her closet. And she put little curtains in them, you know, for privacy. Just precious. This is one, and I obviously I could have coated the whole panel with like a burnt sienna and come in and wiped out my drawing. Not wiping off of here too good. You can always take your solvent or your water, whatever it is that, and come in, you know, and remove. And lift some of that out. I'm seeing I need a little more color here. Got a nice reflection on the edge here from somewhere. Can you see it? I don't know what you can see, but you can see that these are cool. This up in here, this shadow's cool. So I'm trying to observe all that. Try not to rush, try to take our time and supposedly you can eat nasturtiums. I've never eaten them. Have you eaten them? What do they taste like? I think they put them in salads and stuff. I'm really disappointed my cosmos didn't come up, because I understand they kind of seed themselves and they'll come back from year to year, but oh, I didn't get any. All right, we could start where we wanted. I think we'll start with the bloom. It's obviously orange. I do see some yellow inside there and a few little orange stems. I'll try to look close here, see a little darker value there. Try to study what we've got there. I use a limited palette, if you know that, and so my truest orange is going to be Cad Red Light and Cad Yellow Medium. It's a nice, clean, pure orange. So I'm going to mix up some of that up, and we can even pick it up and we can try to compare it. That looks a bit lighter. I'm going to put more red in it. And we could even, you know, I think that's better. It's a little hard to tell. I'm going to push a little bit over to the side where it's a little darker there. I may actually put some ultramarine and some crimson in it, make kind of a purple, and mix that into it. If you get it wrong, you're best off to wipe it off and redo it. Once you start going over top of it and adjusting, you start muddying colors, and so consider wiping off if you're, especially if you're working in oils. If you're working in acrylics, just let it dry, of course. All right, I'm back to the little brush that I sketch with. I'm going to look for these darks first. This is some kind of panel that I won one time. I actually forget what it is. It's got a foam core in it. I think they consider them plein air because they're lightweight. So I'm just looking for the darks. There aren't a lot of really darks, are there? There are some little subtle lines through there, but we'll see about that. They're obviously not as dark as our darks. Let's see if we can get some of that yellow in the middle there. I try hard not to stroke as much as I used to. I remember taking a lesson years ago with, he's excellent, Chuck Marshall, and him saying, I happened to be the only student that day, and he was saying, can I tell you something? It's like, of course. And he said that I was doing stroking several times. I didn't realize it, and when you do that, sometimes you have to do that to get coverage. It depends on the surface. I'm not saying it's a wrong thing, but sometimes by doing that you muddy up color. With a tone like this, you know, I want some of it to show through. So anyway, I have tried over the years not to play with my paint as much. I want it painterly, and just working with the one color right now. I actually almost feel like I'm going to put a little more red in it. I almost feel like it could be. of shape I see, and pretty close. You know, I'm going to leave it alone for now, and we'll have to decide, you know, what, if any, kind of subtle detail we want on those petals. A lot of people don't like flowers, and I think a lot of the reason is they get so hung up on the detail in them. I think, you know, sometimes it doesn't matter what they are. Just beautiful color, you know. All right, so let's just leave that alone for now. That looks pretty close to the shape and the color, I think. But we won't really know for sure till we get the other elements painted in. So let's move on to the glass. What color is that? You know, it's really a gray. To me, I see it's a bit cooler. Of course, we're going to look at what we're seeing through it. You know, I see yellow in there. We got quite the nice highlight there. A little bit of one there, and a nice, it's not as bright as the highlight, but there's a nice light over on this side. It's probably from the light coming through. So let's make a gray of the three primaries. I'm always encouraging people to work in a limited palette. You know, everything starts from those three primary colors, and it just makes your life easier if those are your options, in my opinion. All right, so you mix the three colors together, then ask yourself, you know, does it need to be warmer or cooler or darker or lighter? So I know you could really say it, you know, is there color there at all? I mean, I'm making a gray, but we're going to have to pull it more toward yellow because I'm seeing yellow through there. And then the color through there is warmer and darker. You know, we're just going to try this. I mean, if we don't get it right, then you won't really know till you do it, truthfully. I'm going to use a little solvent, and we'll go after the dark first. I've got a bigger brush now. It's actually dark out to that little light edge. And it's darker up in here, but not near as dark. I'm going more gray. We'll see how that looks. Trying to look hard. This kind of just blends into there in the back as I'm looking through there. And on this edge over here, actually, I see a gray color. Follow across the bottle. You might expect that to be pretty light, but I'm just trying to follow what I see. See that edge? This is probably better, kind of, I don't want to say nice for you, but you can see what I'm seeing this time, huh? All right, so we're gonna, the rest of this is a kind of a yellow color. I think I'll stay with that bigger brush of the two. Yellow. I'm trying to determine how. And of course we got orange under this. You know, that's going to affect it. We'll go ahead, I think, and paint through the stem for now. A little too much solvent in there, that's why I'm wiping back over it. Right behind this dark gray, I see it. I'm trying to paint what I see. I see a bit of a lighter, if you can see it or not, there's gray and then there's a little lighter edge there. We may not be seeing the same things, I know that. The bottom of the bottle is kind of yellow, but it looks warmer. Trying to look and see what I see through there. You know, I don't know that I want that to. It is divided pretty much in half, isn't it? Dark is where the bottle's touching the paper. Actually, let's try to cool that off a little bit. I think it might stand out a little more. we'll see. In the long run, do I like that? I don't know. Don't know yet. I wanted it to stand out, and I thought it might stand out better. All trial and error. All right, then we've got this nice light here. See it over there? And it may even be a little soon for some of this because, you know, we don't have the background painted in or anything. So we may have to redo it. I don't mind that. I never mind that. Yeah, I can't even really see that water line in the back. It is blown out. And from where I'm at, I can see the top of the bottle. I'm seeing a reflection through there, on there, that I don't see with my eye, but it might be nice. I don't see it with my eye. It's funny. I think we'll go ahead and paint the background in. And I think we're going to consider going with yellow. I'm going to try mixing lemon and cad yellow medium and some white. It's really light over there where it's really light here. I've got it, I have it cropped a little different. Now I have to run that in a little further. these, I guess, I don't know if they're shadows, whatever they are anyway. They're cooler than I initially sketched them out, so I'm making them cooler. That's the shadow from the rope. I wonder where the other one is. I only see the one. That's shadows from there. This one, I guess, if the paper went on out, maybe it would be projected out there. Can't see it. Kind of trying to paint what I see. Alright, it's fun, you know, to try even if you don't get it just right. It's a fun practice, like it all is, you know. Like doing that truck yesterday. Did I exactly nail it? Not to my satisfaction, but I still enjoyed myself, and I always say if it works out, I meant to do that. If it doesn't, then I was practicing, you know. You hope it works out when you really need it to, right? When you're doing a demo, or I'm going to go over that and soften that. And we got to paint the rope in yet too. Let's try to go over that again. And these still feel way too warm to me, so let's think about that. They feel way too warm. And I don't know if that's if that odd shape is distracting or. I can see too, it's a lot lighter than I have it. So let's go over with the yellow and we'll try to soften it up, which may turn it kind of green, but that's okay. I mean, there's nothing to say I have to paint what I'm seeing there, but you know, the goal is to try. Been using these softer brushes lately. They're just a cheap brush, actually. I like bristles sometimes, and I don't know. It feels good just sometimes to change it up. It feels different in your hand. Rosemary's are fabulous. Rosemary makes a softer one too. I think it's called an evergreen. I think I need to order some of those again. I'm looking at my edge compared to that edge, and my edge is a little darker, perhaps. mark I put on there. All right, let's look at the shape of this while we're here. Shape of the bottle. Still playing around with that. Have a little fun with it here. I got into my phthalo. Going to, let me grab something here. You can't see it, but I've got some reflections on the top of the bottle. Might be nice. A little reflection on the water line. Now let's look at that edge over there again. I think I'm going to get back into the gray, but I'm going to add a little blue. Let me back up a little bit. I've been right here so close the whole time. Rope has a couple like knots down in here. This is where it ties onto a little ring. Couple of the gals in my Monday group have a two-woman show out at Sinclair College, which is out here where I live in Mason, and they had an opening the other night, and I went, and one gal, I actually bought one of her little paintings of a beach scene, just beautiful. And so many of her paintings, if that interests you, are Airstream campers, if you know what those are. This show is called Reflections, and she does a great job with them. You know, just very interesting subject matter, even if you're not into it exactly. And the other gal does a lot of still lifes. I hung the show, and it's kind of, you know, we kept the two main walls when you came in. We kept one, all of one lady's work on one side and the other on the other side, and that worked really well. You know, just to see a whole body of their work, it looks really good like that. Kind of trying to suggest, without getting too picky, the texture of the rope a little bit. No, I don't like that now that I've done it. Let's just go over it. I think it's too cool. This is something I could do later, but and again, that's the shadow. That's the little ring there. See up into the neck, this yellow goes right up into there. All right, let's look at the little flower. I think I'm going to suggest some of the detail. Get into that darker mixture. Very subtle detail. I loaded the brush really heavy. could do that with a palette knife. See, I see this same blue that's out there. That's really what I see more in here too. Not sure what that one little reflection is. This here, I don't even know how it got there. Like I said, with my eye I don't see that one, but I see it through the camera. So I put it in, and that little blue one's probably from the overhead light, and that's a really strong one. Bit of yellow down in there that I see. Oh, I tell you one thing I don't have in there at all is the stem. It's funny the things you can forget. So focused on some things, and you were probably saying, where's the stem? And I wasn't even noticing it. Obviously still, this is a lot darker than we have it there. So maybe we'll go through it and we'll lighten it up some more. I could wipe it out for sure. All right, we'll get our rubber knife in there. We'll lift some of that, okay? So it's not so dark. And think about whether we want to come back to it. Pretty interesting, you know, the reflections and stuff you get doing something like this. All right, let me get away from it again. Back up, way back up here. See if the bottle feels symmetrical. You know, it's different painting it this way because it's hanging, you know, at an angle. So it's the way it's meant to hang. It's, you know, it's cute. Like I said, hanging in my window. I just never painted it before. I was going to do a typical kind of scene for me. I was going to cut 3 nasturtiums and put them in 3 little jars, but I've done that kind of thing so often for you. All right, I think we'll call it there. feels pretty good. We might never really looked inside of one of these this good. This little thing sticking in there. All right, I'll put you in front of it and see if we can put our little mat on it maybe. Without getting I don't know if I have room to do that or not. We shall try. That's pretty good. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. I wouldn't typically do a yellow background. I went with the yellow because I had the yellow paper. You know, now that I see it, it may turn to something more in this family. I think that might be more attractive. I'd ask, what do you think? But probably by the time you would give me your opinion, I will have changed it. So that's the only reason I did the yellow, is because I had the yellow paper there. I just thought, let's go with what we got. But looking at it, I can't say I love the yellow. But I think it's, you know, pretty good representation of a little bottle. I have to I have to look at the shape again. All right, took about an hour, and I appreciate you joining me. And like and subscribe, please, if you haven't done that. And I'll catch you next time. Good night.